Tonight, Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen arriving back in the United States, recounting his conversation with Kilmar Obrego Garcia, the undocumented immigrant deported to that notorious prison in El Salvador because of an administrative error. In their meeting, Obrego Garcia, wearing a baseball cap, shorts, and a button-down shirt, a far cry from this image, head shaved in prison whites, hustled into the prison known as Secot. He was placed in a cell with about 25 other prisoners at Secot.
He was traumatized by being at Secot and fearful of many of the prisoners in other cell blocks who called out to him and taunted him in various ways.
Van Hollen says their conversation was Obrego Garcia's first communication with anyone from the outside world since arriving in El Salvador on March 15th. Van Hollen tells me Salvadoran officials provided Obrego Garcia with no information and that the senator spoke with the country's vice president himself.
What did Obrego Garcia say that the officials in El Salvador told him about why he was sent to that prison and how long he would be there?
They haven't told him anything about why he was sent.
Or how long he would be there?
They didn't tell him anything about that. In fact, I asked the vice president exactly that question. You know, why is he here? Is he violating any laws in El Salvador? Do you have any proof that he's committed a crime? No. Why is he here? Because the Trump administration is paying us to keep him here.
President Trump insists Obrego Garcia is a violent gang member, though his family denies it, and he has no criminal convictions. President Trump today blasting Van Hollen as a grandstander.
Look, he's a fake. I know him. I know them all. They're all fake. And they have no interest in that prisoner. That prisoner's record is unbelievably bad.
Van Hollen firing back that Trump and his ally El Salvador's president Nayib Bukele are spreading lies, accusing Bukele of staging this photo of the meeting last night. 2 cocktail glasses conspicuously in the image Bukele posted on X, claiming the senator and Obrego Garcia were, quote, sipping margaritas.
When I first sat down with Kilmar, we just had glasses of water on the table. I think maybe some coffee. And as we were talking, one of the government people came over and deposited 2 other glasses on the table with ice and I don't know if it was salt or sugar around the top, but they looked like margaritas. And let me just be very clear, neither of us touched the drinks that were in front of us. Nobody drank any margaritas or sugar water or whatever it is. But this is a lesson into the lengths that President Bukele will do to deceive people about what's going on.
Senator Van Hollen says the bottom line is the administration is, quote, blatantly and flagrantly defying the Supreme Court, which has ordered them to facilitate Obrego Garcia's return to the United States.
This case is not just about one man. It's about protecting the constitutional rights of everybody who resides in the United States of America. If you deny the constitutional rights of one man, you threaten the constitutional rights and due process for everyone else in America.
Rachel Scott, ABC News, Washington.